Crummy day it was yesterday. What are we going to talk about? Let's talk contesting. All right. Welcome back in, everybody, to Talking Radio with Brad. All right, so I'm trying to figure out, after the last thing we did, done a few shameless plugs trying to get some social media presence. I thought, what's something I would have liked to have had when I was a new ham? Now, I've been a ham for almost 25 years. And I'm still relatively young. I'm 38 years old. So I've been a geek a long time, but we're all a geek about something. So I was looking through this month's Q Street, QSD. If you're an ARRL member, you get that. Here's the November 18 edition. And it's thumbing through here. I said, trying to get ideas like, what can we talk about? And I came to the contest corral, which is on page 90, right there. Look at that list of stuff. So I counted them up, and in November alone, there are 37 contests going on that entire month. Now, the most busiest weekend is the start date of the 10th, and there are eight contests going on one weekend. Stuff ranging from was it the Workdoll Europe Riddy contest to there's a 10-10, all kinds of stuff. There's a weekend sprintathon. I'm not exactly sure what a sprintathon is. I know what a sprint is. But contesting. Some of you may be intimidated if you get QST and you're going through there and you see these pictures on QRZ of people's contest stations, and there's, they're on 150 acres. They got 4 towers or more, and they're 200 feet, and they're stacked monobanders. And they got these great big flexes or ICOM 7800s or 7851s, whatever, large, no-tune, solid-state amplifiers, and multiple positions. And I often wonder, does anybody even live there? Is this their weekend, their contest retreat? And I still don't know the answer to that. I imagine there's probably some around the world that are like that, especially the guys in Europe that are running 80-meter Yagis, which just baffle me. They generally have a hell of a signal over here, and you don't have problems working them. But you don't have to have all that to contesting. And if you're just getting into it, that's fine. If that's your goal, if that's what you want to have, unless, we probably all geek out about that type of stuff. And it's cool. And we all want to have a good signal, but you don't have to have that to contest. Now, maybe your initial goal shouldn't be, I want to win CQ worldwide. Let's face it, there's, every thousands upon tens of thousands of entrants throughout the world, and some people with more resources than others, and maybe that shouldn't be your initial goal. But there's all kinds of contests. There's short contests that last just a few hours, like sprints. There's just 12-hour contests, like North American QSO Party. That is a great one to start with. And that was actually my first contest, other than field day. We've probably all participated in field day, either with a club or you've done it by yourself. And I've done that too. And I found it's a lot more fun with some more people. if you're like me, you're sitting there for a while, and if everything's going good, then time goes by pretty quick. But if conditions are a little rough or some things get a little slow, maybe it's time to take a break. You got to eat. You got to eat. You're going to have to go to the bathroom. You need to walk around. You don't just want to sit there all the time. So take breaks. But it's more fun with more people. You can do it by yourself, and maybe some of the shorter ones, that's okay. It's kind of hard to get 4 or 5 guys around to just do a 4-hour contest. How do you rotate around everybody? You can do it if you want. There's contesting clubs. You can enter in. There's just so much about it. But really, I think if you're just wanting to get your feet wet, and this is what this video is about. It's not for your avid contesters, for somebody saying, hey, I'm thinking about getting into contesting, or you're just thumbing through and it's like, what else part of the hobby can I do? Contests can be fun, and they are an excellent way to rack up your DXCC if you need a few countries left, or you're just getting started, you worked all states. Any opportunity that there is for a large amount of people to be on the air at the same time is a good opportunity to rack up some numbers for an award. So there is, like CQ Worldwide, you really could get your DXCC on that weekend. You really could. You got everybody in the world on, especially if you live around here around the southeast. The Caribbean's so short of a distance, it's real easy to work guys down there. And there's always people taking vacations or going to the islands, and they'll work the contest there. You'll hear them on like a week before. You'll start seeing all that. And if you remember the ARL, you can get the DX weekly newsletter to tell you the new stuff coming up. And about this time of year for CQ Worldwide, which is like actually the time of this is going on right now, you'll see a whole bunch of extra stuff, people going down on vacation or whatever, and they'll do destination type things, and they'll get on the contest there. I think that would be a great thing to do. You can take a group of people, and if you go to some island that's tropical, like right now it's 45 degrees, it was raining yesterday, it's cloudy right now. It's what we would call a crummy day. But anyway, I digress. You'll see a lot of those start popping up in that report. So in preparing for this, I found N5PA, his little website, and had some stuff on it, and just like, what's the fun in it, yada yada, trying to figure out the best way to explain this to people. And it is fun. You got the thrill of the chase. It's a fresh start every weekend, and there's a feeling at the end. You set a goal, a feeling of accomplishment. So and there's learning. You're going to learn a bunch of stuff about yourself. You're going to learn stuff about your equipment. You're going to learn how your antennas are operating, maybe some things you want to change. You'll learn how the layout of your shack is and how that works for you. And if you're just an armchair rack chewer, then it's probably fine. But if you're going to do some contests, you might not want your computer behind you for logging and your radio in front of you. Makes it a little inconvenient. So having that stuff there, within arm's reach and some space. And there's a contest for just about everything you think of. Like I said, there's worldwide contests. There's stuff at last weekends, just a number of hours, maybe one day. There's QSO parties. And, you'll get awards for working counties. And so if there's an award you're looking for, a contest is a great way to get in and either get a big chunk of it done or maybe even finish up. That's a good way to make some new friends. After you've worked a few, you'll start recognizing call signs of guys you've worked before, and you'll end up, odds are you'll probably end up communicating with each other and they'll recognize you or whatever. And even some of the bigger ham fests, they might show up and you actually get to meet them and hang out. So, that's all kind of fun. But remember, we're going to talk to Mark. He's going to give us some keys to contesting especially if you're new. Just some 5 simple things that you need to do if you just want to get into contesting, and they're not all that hard. Anybody can do them, and we're going to talk to him in just a minute. And remember, you don't have to have that huge station to get into contesting. You can do it with something very modest, 100 watts and a dipole or a multi-band a wire antenna. Actually, my first contest I did was with the ZS6 BKW. So you can do it, and I actually think that was a CQ Worldwide. You got in and you just start going. And odds are, the big key to your station is how efficient your antenna is. If you got a decent antenna, you're probably going to work some guys. So we're going to get into that. Mark's going to talk a little bit more about that. So let's go ahead. Let's talk to Mark. Mark Tarpley, everybody. N4UFP, the ARRL South Carolina section manager. He's going to give us a few keys. So let's
I would say there are 5 things that folks want to keep in mind when they first get into contesting. Number 1, whatever the contest is, read the rules. Familiarize yourself with the contest. If nothing else, know what the exchange is. Folks will sometimes be tuning up and down the band, and all of a sudden they realize it's contest weekend. They decide to jump in and make some contacts. I've had it happen to me. Guy answers my call, and I give him the exchange, and he says, well, 5'9", my name's Earl, and, I live down here in Anytown, USA. He doesn't quite get it. He doesn't really know the rules, doesn't know the exchange. So I think ahead of time, read the rules, familiarize yourself with things so that when you get into the contest, you know what you're going to be doing, what the other folks are going to be doing. It makes it easier for everybody. Number 2, take a look at your station. Think about the contest that you're interested in and look at your equipment, your antennas, and ask yourself, do I have all the stuff I need? Is there an improvement I can make? Can I make some changes to be better equipped when contest day comes? The day of the contest is not the day you want to be horsing around trying to put up new antennas, making major changes to your station. Work that out and test it ahead of time. If you want to be in a 160-meter contest, 160 contests, especially at this point in the sunspot cycle, can be a lot of fun. But you've got to have the right antenna. If you think you're going to use a 30-foot tall store-bought loaded vertical on 160, you can. I don't know how many contacts you make. It's really not the best antenna.
It's going to be a long weekend.
It will be a long weekend. You will need a number of adult beverages, most likely. But if you take a couple hours ahead of time, take a look at your antennas, maybe change your antennas around, look at your equipment. I'm not necessarily saying you got to crank out a 1,500 watt signal. You don't necessarily need to have a linear. It can make things easier, but even if you've only got 100 watts, you can still do a good job. But you really need to think through, what are my capabilities? What kind of antennas do I have? How does all that plug into the contest? Do I have the right stuff? And once you do that, you've kind of evaluated your station and checked things out, and you think you've got what you need, then you really need to set some goals. You need to say, here's what I want to accomplish while I'm in this contest. Some people might say, well, it's a 48-hour contest and I got to score a couple million points to be competitive. Well, that's probably true, but it would be unusual to do that in a first effort. It's better to set a more modest goal. Maybe you set a goal of operating a certain number of hours. You say, well, I'm going to sit down in the chair and shout in the mic for 6 hours. Or I want to make 400 contacts. Or when my score gets to 20,000 points, I'm calling it a day. You may set what I'd call milestones along the way. You sit down, you say, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to make 100 cues. Then I got to go shopping. Or then I got to cut the grass. And then you come back and you do something else. But the key is to have a goal. Because if you don't know exactly where you're going, I don't know how you're going to get there.
It's a good way to put that.
One of the things that you have to sort of keep in the back of your mind when you're contesting is it's competitive, and there are lots of folks on the air with lots of different capabilities, and you may not be the biggest signal on the band. You may have some trouble making contacts. Don't get discouraged. Sometimes people will say, man, I was calling CQ, nobody answered me. I was trying to hunt and pounce and answer other people's CQs up and down the band, and I only made 3 contacts. Well, there's probably a reason, and you might have to go back to step 2, evaluate your station. Maybe you need to look at that again. But don't get discouraged. Do the best you can, and if you discover that maybe your original goal was set a little high, well, reevaluate, and maybe you set a lower goal or a different goal. But you really don't want to get discouraged. And finally, have fun. Amateur radio is a hobby. This is not how we make our living, most of us. Contesting should be fun. And you don't have to be a top-notch, top-drawer, first-tier contester to have a lot of fun. You just need to get involved and try to do what you can within the capabilities of your station. And if you set some reasonable goals and you're prepared, you'll have fun. I can't imagine you wouldn't. Anyway, that's my story.
All right, so there you have it. 5 good key points if you want to get into contesting. So try to keep this real simple. And just really the main thing is get out there, have fun. And I find it's a lot more fun if you got a couple of your buddies with you. You know, with a bigger contest, maybe you want to cook out, make it more like a field day effort. And you want to have some snacks and just hang out. It's a good time. It's a good way to hang out with your friends. It's good, clean fun, and odds are you're not going to get into too much trouble. So that's it, guys. So I appreciate you coming by, taking a view, listening to us. Please give us your comments. I'm always trying to figure out what's some new stuff to do that you guys would be interested in, and we think we've done okay, but really like hearing back from you guys. So if you would, hit that thumbs up button down there, like us, and if you'd like, hit the subscribe button. We'd really love to have some new subscribers, and you can hit the bell icon over there and be notified every time we do updates. But you know, if you give us a thumbs up, give us some comments, let us know what you think, what you like, what you didn't like. But remember, this wasn't for your hardcore contesters. It's for some new people getting in and just trying to calm your nerves down, I guess, about getting into a big contest. So it's a lot of fun. And QST every month has a list of contests going on for every month. And you can get your calendar going and see what you like, and gives you time to research. ARRL.org/contest is a great resource. All the calendars up there for all the ARRL events. And it's a good resources for stuff that you would need. All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Be sure give some comments. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like. We'll do our best to improve. Thanks, guys. 73. Remember, stay radioactive. Bye. All right. Good. Excellent.